The 949th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Howdy ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 949 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to the last Olympian 07, one of our friends in the Discord. I don't think I've given a shout out to before. Thanks for coming to the show. I am Jeff Fox. I still hate baseball. That is Daniel Gumby Vreeland. We're covering Fury FC 111. Pretty solid Fury card. It was more solid before, but they lost the main event, which was for a title belt, but they just kicked it down the line to 112, right?
Yeah, and it's actually the title fight got about 80 times better. So first of all, it's Sam Kilmer was supposed to be defending his title. They had an original opponent. It was kind of fun. Opponent dropped out. Find him a new opponent. Less fun. That opponent dropped out. And then I was like, are they going to find him anything? And at the end of the day, they did, but it had to push it down the road because now it's Manshur Kara is going to fight him for the belt. You might remember him from, he was on Road to the UFC. He got one of the showcase fights on Road to the UFC. Looked amazing in it. We've definitely broken down some of his fights on the regional scene around here. So like very exciting fight now to see Kilmer against somebody of that magnitude. So like the winner should just be in the UFC, which is kind of exciting. But meanwhile, we also have like, you know, 2 or 3 very exciting prospects here. We got somebody with tons of experience. So like this card took a hit, but like almost like it could withstand that hit. Fury FC 111, kind of a sick fight card.
And there's a fighter with a 1-11 record on it, I just see. So
on the early parts,
the prelims, yes. Nicknamed the Cannibal. So yeah, interesting. There'll be some names that you shall recognize on this year Fury FC 111. So let's dive into it after I remind you that the NFL, NBA, college football, and NHL are all live, and we got podcasts and giving out free picks for everything. So subscribe to the SGPN feed to catch every episode wherever you get your podcasts. And if, I hear there's an MMA podcast on there too that covers pretty much every MMA event.
It's pretty good too.
There, so yeah,
pretty good.
Check it out.
We win. We haven't been able to recap because while we're recording these, it turns out Ryzen and Anthony Pettis FC still haven't happened. But we did go 4-1 in Octagon. And hit both of our lightning round plays. And shout out to in the YouTube comments, Golden Pineapple. I know we've dedicated episodes to him before, but he was like, "Hey, one of the fights you didn't cover. What do you think of this underdog?" And he shot me 2 names, and I was like, "I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any idea who those 2 guys are fighting on those Octagon prelims." So I went and watched film, and I was like, "You know what? Sick pick on the underdog. I'm gonna ride with you." And he won by hook kick knockout in the first round, which was not how I saw him winning. I thought his wrestling was going to play up, but so me and Golden Pineapple in on an underdog there.
Good job, Golden Pineapple. All right, so Fury FC 111, Houston, Texas, Imaging venues taking place on Sunday, so that will be November the 9th, 2 p.m. start time. Prelims, YouTube, US broadcast, UFC Fight Pass. So basically, if you have UFC Fight Pass, you'll be able to watch the main card as well. 11 fights. We're pretty much covering half of them in full, and then Gummy can pick some 1-11 fighters or debut fighters for his lightning round here. So we'll start with a name you probably are familiar with. We have spoken about him before. Lester Batres Jr. He's from the United States. He's fighting Dumar Roa. He is from Colombia. 3 5-minute rounds, 155. Rua is El Legendario Samurai. Good name. Here's a good record too. 21-24 with 1 no contest. Whew. He's been around. That's 46 fights. So this will be his 47th. 12 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out 7 times, submitted 9 times. 0-3 in Fury. He's on a 6-fight losing streak. He's got 1-6 with 1 no contest over his last 8. He's been finished in back-to-back fights. He's fought at 135, 145, and 170. He can lose at every weight class. 2011 Pro MMA debut. Batres Jr., the unit, 6-1, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions, never been finished in any fights. All those fights taking place in Fury. That's why you probably have heard of him. He's won 2 straight, both via TKO. He's fought at 170, 13 years younger than Roa, 2 inches taller.
Yeah, Batres, negative 2,000.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, this was the fight we probably weren't going to break down if if we did get a Sam Kilmer fight, you know, and before anybody's just like, oh, you're just taking the super favorite and you're not even doing your due diligence. No. Remember, I'm the only one out there who correctly predicted that Lester Batres would take his prospect loss against Brett Prestor, right? I had that one at plus 900. I don't just pick guys when I see negative 2,000 next to their name and know they're going to win. But this is like a wild mismatch. Dumar Roa, I went back and I watched his fight with Michael Blockhus, who we'll see a little bit later on this card. And basically, like, he's got decent hands for a guy with a record looking like it does. But they've definitely gotten slower as he's aged and taken more wear and tear. But like, you know, just as soon as Blockhus wanted to take down. Now, granted, Blockhus is a University of Minnesota wrestler, so like take that with a grain of salt. But as soon as Blockhus wanted to take down, he picked him up, and I think he could have thrown him out of the cage if he wanted to. Like, that's how high he had him, which is pretty impressive at lightweight. Like, to pick a guy up and basically have him the correct height to throw him all the way out. But like, the thing about Batres is like he's always been like, while not like a super collegiate wrestler, like that's his path to victory, right? Like, he is a really, really, really talented, like, catch wrestling type guy. That's actually why he lost to Brett Prestor, is because like Prestor has got like high level jiu-jitsu and was able to counter some of it. Roa, it seems like he's a fish out of water there. I think Batres probably messes around with the hands for like a minute or two before he shoots like a big takedown. And then like within a minute of being on the ground, he gets a submission here. So,
whoa.
Yeah, I mean, like, under 3.5 minutes here is my guess. Lester Batres, rear naked choke.
All right, there you go. He tells you exactly how it's going to happen too. We've got another fight. This one is at 155. We got lots more fights actually. Nico Echeverry, Malik Lewis. They're both from the United States. Tell you about Lewis first. Hard knock. We've spoken of him before. He's 6-4 with 1 no contest. He's got 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. He hosted Browns. That means 0-2 with 1 no contest in Fury. He's lost 2 straight, and he's gone 1-3 with 1 no contest over his last 5. Past 2 losses, both via submission. He's last won a fight February 2023. 1-0 in LFA. 0-2 in Contender Series because he lost to who, Gumby?
0-2?
Yeah.
I remember the James Yontop one. James Yontop is for sure one of them.
That was the last one. Who did he get hammer fisted by before that?
Was it he was beating the guy with the standing hammer fist. We haven't seen him in so long. Arkansas.
Yep. Peekaboo.
Peak. Trevor Peak. Thank you.
Yes.
Why couldn't I remember? He hasn't fought in so long. I forgot.
I know, that's why.
Name. Yeah. But remember that fight? Lewis like had him on the ropes, but because you can't knock out Trevor Peak, he like just like gassed himself out like 3 minutes into the fight, being like, surely this fight's about to end. And it did not, and he lost.
Yep. Yeah, and his career has kind of been going downhill since then too. He does have multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Used to fight at 170. He's 5 years younger than Echeverry, 4 inches taller, 7-inch reach advantage. So he's much bigger, much younger. Echeverry is the machine, 15-8 with 1 no contest, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 12-7 with 1 no contest in Fury. He's the former champion of the promotion. He's won 3 of 4, and he's gone 4-3 with 1 no contest over his last 7. He lost his last bout. He went 1-1 in LFA. Used to fight at 170, 2015 pro MMA debut.
Yeah, so I think that those recent results from Malik Lewis kind of like negate the fact that he was a Contender Series guy. I'm going to say Echeverry like negative 150, negative 155, like a plus 120, 130 kind of range for Malik Lewis. And I'm going to go Echeverry. I think he is a lot of the things that Malik Lewis is finding ways to have problems with lately. Insanely durable, you know, a la Trevor Peak or a la James Yontop. Can take a punch and doesn't seem to be fazed all that much by it. And then also just like he brings a grinding style. Like the guy loves working in the clinch and grinding and pushing you to the edge. Like Malik Lewis is probably the better boxer in this fight if I had to pick one. Like I think he at range could probably win a fight against Nico Echeverry, but like Nico Echeverry just like will not let him fight that type of fight. He will bring it to him. He'll get up right in his face. And if this turns into a wrestling match, like we've sort of seen that's like Malik Lewis's downfall, is that like he tires and becomes sort of easy to take down, or, you know, his own wrestling game is no longer very good. And, you know, Echeverry, just like with the way that he's I mean, basically willed himself to win over some people he probably should never have ever beat. Like this is a guy he should beat. And I think that will and that forward pressure and that cardio, I think will be his biggest weapon. So yeah, give me Nico Echeverry here, probably slight fade.
All right, lock it in. Before we get you some more winning plays, we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet in football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their model is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the MMA lines over there, UFC, obviously, and a bunch of regional stuff. Head to mybookie.ag. Use promo code MMASGPN for 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. So that's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And we're also brought to you by NoVig, N-O-V-I-G, all one word. NoVig is America's #1 sports prediction market. NoVig, you're getting the best prices. They have reduced juice. NoVig is available in 35 plus states. Download the NoVig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with NoVig, promo code SGPN. All right, let's move on up the fight card. We're going to 145 now. It would be featherweight. Cody Freeman, Michael Blockhus. They're both from the United States. We'll tell you about Blockhus first. 4-1, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. 1-1 in Fury. Submission win in his last bout. 2-0 in LFA. 1-0 in Bellator, RIP. He's fight at 155, 4 years younger than Freeman. Freeman, Bison is the nickname. 10-7, 1 knockout, 7 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. 3-4 in Fury. However, he's won 3 of 4 and gone 3-4 over his last 7. He got TKO'd in his last bout, though. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He went 1-1 in LFA. He's fed at 135. 2 inches taller than Blockhus, 5-inch reach advantage.
So I think Blockhus is going to be a similarly massive favorite like Batres. Maybe not all the way up there, like maybe 800. I will say that like while I'm like super confident that Batres gets it done against Dumar Roa, and I'm like, don't even consider the Dumar Roa money line. Like it'll look tempting because it's 15-1 or something like that, but like don't touch it. I'm going to pick Michael Blockhus here, but if somebody wanted to get in on Cody Freeman, I don't think I would like. I don't think I'd try to talk him out of it. I wouldn't talk a friend out of betting Cody Freeman. How about that? I think the big piece for me is that like he brings like such a fun wrestling game and such like a fun grinding game, and he's fighting a wrestler. So just like, what if enough of that negates Michael Blockhus? And I don't think it will. That's why I'm picking Blockhus to win, right? I mentioned before, he's a University of Minnesota wrestling guy. He like very much looks the part. He could have thrown Dumar Roa out of the cage when he fought him. Like he's very good in terms of the wrestling game. But like Freeman too, like if you watch his fight with Justice Torres, which you'll remember Justice Torres was just on Contender Series, Freeman kind of was dominating the early parts of that fight with his like grind and his wrestle game. And like Torres had to find a way like to scramble a few times and get out of it. And like, that's a pretty good sign for his wrestling ability. Now, again, I don't think it's good enough to completely negate Michael Blockhus, but if you were out there with like, a 7-1 ticket on him and we're like, I kind of think it will negate enough, I can hear that. One of the other reasons I'll pick Blockhus here too is not just that I think the wrestling is better, but I think the control in the scrambling is, as I just mentioned, Freeman had some takedowns against Justice Torres, had a little trouble keeping him up. Torres forced him to scramble a little bit, and that's why he found his opening. When you see guys wrestle with Blockhus, like they don't find a way back up. They don't find a way to make it a scramble. They don't find a way to make it ugly. And so like I think Freeman's going to have trouble with that. I think he's going to constantly wind up on the wrong side of most of these scrambles. So I like Blockhus for that reason. And, he might be a touch better striking too if this all does negate. It's definitely a much closer than a negative 800 fight if it does negate and wind up completely taking place on the feet. But even if it was on the feet, I think Blockhus is a little faster. He's definitely safer in terms of entering the pocket and getting out of the pocket and where he keeps his hands and things like that. Freeman's a little bit more free and, no pun intended. But Freeman, little bit more free and clear with his hands and winds up, looking like he's hittable. So like, even if it wound up on the feet, I'd still pick Blockhus, but this one is, will at least be a fun question to answer for the young prospect in Michael Blockhus.
If you throw someone out of the cage, it should be an automatic win, right? I think so. Like Royal Rumble. Wrestling. Yeah, Royal Rumble, sumo wrestling. Yeah, anything like that. Yeah, it totally should be that. That would make it so much more. Some Russian promotion, please do that.
It was it almost happened. I think we've definitely talked about this because somebody congratulated me on the poll, but it definitely almost happened in the UFC with Johnny Hendricks and Ricardo Funch. Do you remember Ricardo Funch?
Yep. I remember the name. Yep.
Yeah. Me and Ricardo Funch used to train in the same gym together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever try to throw him out of the cage?
No, but it was right around the time Johnny Hendricks did.
Yes. Don't mention anything then. Yeah. All right. We got a main event and more winning plays for you after I tell you about Underdog. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Gumby's got a winning play for you right now.
Yeah, so we got the Bulls and the Sixers here on Tuesday. I'm going to keep this one simple. Nikola Vucevic, just an absolute animal down low. He might not block any shots. He might not stop people from taking any of those shots, but he's sure as heck going to pick them on up if you miss them. So I'll take the higher than on the rebounds for Nikola Vucevic.
All right. Underdog's got a brand new offer. For new customers, play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is crushing in college football, NFL, and now it just added the NBA. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Gumby's probably got another play for you here for Rhythm this time.
Yeah, let's stick it with the Bulls and the Sixers. Why not take the Bulls here? They're going to be road underdogs here against the 76ers on Tuesday. With as good as they've been, I just don't understand the disrespect on all the lines here for Chicago. So let's take the Bulls, and heck, we don't even want the points. We'll just take them.
Whoa, look at you.
Yeah, I'm just going to take them on the money line. Take that.
Wow. All right. See if Rhythm agrees. You can sign up with their promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, RITHMM. And the promo code is SGPN25. And we're to our main event of the evening. Was the co-main event. He's been bumped up to the main event. Dilano Taylor versus...
Did you miss? You missed a fight, my man.
Oh, yes. Did I miss a fight?
Yeah, you just missed the fight.
I did.
Why don't we hate that featherweight one first?
I know. Why? Let's do a featherweight fight. I gave you your ad read early. Okay, now you get two more fights. Tony Toro. How can I forget him? Versus Sean King. They're fighting at featherweight. Let's break her down. By telling you about Tony the Terror Toro. It's a tongue twister. 5-2 with 4 knockouts. He's never been finished in a fight. All those fights taking place in Fury. He's won 3 of 4 TKO win in his last bout. He used to fight at bantamweight. King 2-0 with 1 knockout, 1-0 in Fury. 6 years younger than Toro, 5 inches taller. So a new guy on the scene.
Yeah, love Sean King. I don't know how to line this one because Tony Toro has been in Fury for a while and has fought for some other promotions we've heard of. But he has 5-2 versus 2-0. I think 2-0 is maybe still too fresh to be a favorite automatic. Like usually on these regional shows, you see a guy 6-0 or 7-0, automatic favorite. Against the guy with a loss, automatic favorite. 2-0 might be fresh enough. I'm going to say pick him here. But with that being said, I like Sean King quite a bit. He is a very exciting prospect in that he blends styles really well. It looks like he's almost got like a karate style standing up. He's like a little bit too upright, but like uses his range really well. And there is a lot of range. I don't know if you said the height in the discrepancy. 5 inches taller. 5 inches taller. And I bet you it's more than that in the range because like Sean King's got some lanky arms too. So I'm gonna guess like he's probably got 6-7 inches of reach on him. And so like fighting from that like karate style that's like already kind of hard to get to the head, like Tony Toro is gonna have to overextend himself. And that's like maybe the biggest problem with Tony Toro anyway, is that like he comes with lots of pressure. Like he's a big pressure guy. His pressure boxing has always kind of like brought him into fights that like maybe he seemed overmatched in. But like in this one, I think like he's going to be swinging and he's going to be so far away that those like counter strikes are going to be right there for Sean King. Like he could easily sleep Tony Toro with some like a really nice counter right or something like that. And then on top of that too, like I feel like it's worth mentioning Sean King is an excellent wrestler for a dude who like has this like kind of fun striking style and people are going to be hyped on how cool he is on the feet and stuff like that. Like he also has like a really sick single leg takedown. He'll mix in the double legs, but like I like the fundamentals on his single more than his double. And he comes from a wrestling background, which you can hear on the Top Turtle MMA podcast this week. He comes from a wrestling background. He's super, super, super young. So like, we've talked about this with young prospects before. Like when you don't see them for a little bit, sometimes they're a brand new person when you see them. They've got a whole new wrinkle. They've got this whole new aspect of his game. And he's only 22. So like, you don't see him for a couple of months. He might come back and you'd be like, man, that is so much better. Cause they just, what they're learning is they're integrating so much quicker and have so much more to learn. And so between that and the range, I just think it's going to be too much for Tony Toro. So I'm going to take Sean King here. I can see the fans getting behind him. Tony Toro's having, 3 times as many fights probably will play into the line. But I'm going to say Sean King, pick him price, maybe a slight favorite.
All right, let's see what the Tapologists say. They say King, 81%. Boo.
Man, they like Sean King, huh? But that's hate on Tony Toro, too, because, like, in the past, I've said, I think people are hating on Tony Toro too much. And I'm, I just sat here and picked against him, so, like, shame on me as well. But, like, he's much better than what the fans are giving him credit for, and he's fought some really tough dudes, too.
All right, now we can talk about the main event. Dilano Taylor, United States. Ismail Israilov. He is from Russia. They're fighting 3 500 rounds at 170. Israilov is Bertie is the nickname. 6-1 with 3 knockouts. He's been submitted once. 1-0 in LFA. He's won 3 straight fights. 1-0 in Fury, I think is what I was supposed to put there. He's won 3 straight fights. He last lost September 2021. He's fought at 185. 1-0 bare knuckle fighting. 3 years younger than Taylor. Taylor's the postman. 12-5. 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times. This is his LFA, his Fury. I want to say LFA again. Fury debut. He's won 2 straight and gone 3-4 over his last 7. His past 2 wins both came via finish. He's not fought though since September 2024. He's not lost since June 2023. He went 3-4 in PFL. He's missed weight before at this weight class, 170. He's a regional champ. He's fight up at middleweight. 2 inches taller than Israilov, 4-inch reach advantage.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dilano Taylor. I think he's probably going to be an underdog in this fight. Ismail Israilov seems to be a guy who Fury's high on, fans are high on. He's got no V at the end of his name. His first name looks like his last name. All those things tend to.
Perfect.
I mean, like it's silly for me to be handicapping that, but like it feels like that's what books do, right? Especially the offshores. Like it seems like all of those things play into a factor here. And his record obviously looks a lot better than Dilano Taylor, but if you look at, first of all, the skill level of the guys they're fighting, it's wildly different. And if you look at how that's gone for Israilov, it's still maybe not even gone as well as it has for Taylor. Like I watched his last fight. He fought Baby Goose last time. Do you know Baby Goose? What's his real name? Damn, what the hell is his real name?
Is his nickname Baby Goose?
Yeah, Reese Watkins. Is that? I know he fought Baby Goose.
Yes, you're correct. Yeah, okay. Baby Goose. Reese Watkins is Baby Goose. Have we talked about him before? I would have stolen that name probably if we
Baby
did.
Goose.
So. Yeah.
But yeah, he fought Baby Goose last fight, and like it was a step up in competition because Watkins is like a legit prospect as well. But like it just pointed out how bad Israilov is at determining distances. Like he's shooting from too far away and missing on the takedowns because of it. He's throwing punches and he's not close. And like, granted, he did find a way to like battle through all of that and win because he is like talented and Watkins is still like a step away from where he needs to be. But like now he's fighting Dilano Taylor, who has been in there with like some of the best fighters in the world. I mean, he knocked out Rory McDonald, right? Like that's a huge feather in your cap, even if it's late career Rory McDonald. Yep. Go back and watch his fight with Sadibou Sy. He's kind of bullying Sadibou Sy in that fight. Sadibou Sy, who then went up 30 pounds and did just fine for himself at light heavyweight, fought Taylor at welterweight, and welterweight, like Taylor just kind of pinned him against the cage early, and granted didn't wind up winning that fight, but like showed that he can be physical and in a physical way against one of the more physical guys PFL had. So I think Israilov, even if he gets in on takedowns, I think he's going to have trouble with Dilano Taylor. And then in addition to that, like, I think the hands are better on Taylor. The range development's better on Taylor. And I think we're going to get him at a dog price. So Dilano Taylor is my pick here.
You didn't give us a number though, did you?
I didn't.
Plus
160.
All right, 160 it is, plus 160. All right, so he's got the Postman Taylor. He has got King. He has got a Blockhus. He has got Echeverry. He has got Batres Jr. So some big favorites, and then hopefully multiple dogs here. Then we got a lightning round. Plenty of they always pack their fight cards, so you have plenty of fights to choose from. Zap, bang, boom, pow. Let her rip.
Yeah, so the first one I'm going to take Bruce Whitehead. I mentioned before when we were talking about Nico Echeverry, just like a guy who grinds and like finds ways to win fights he probably shouldn't. Bruce Whitehead's a great example of that. Guy's 6-2, has only lost to guys who have gone on to fight in Contender Series, like, real legit guy, and they set him up with a winnable fight here. Not sure the line will be playable, but he's definitely a guy who's going to pick up a prelim win. And then the other one I'm going to take is James Ford. You remember we broke down a James Ford fight a little while ago when he fought for Fury Challenger 14 or something like that. It's one of those. This isn't the real Fury, but it's put on by Fury, and it's got a different numbering system, and I don't know what's the difference. But he fought on the Fury Challengers one against Dante Two Entrees Johnson before he sadly changed his nickname for no good reason, and became a pretty damn good grappler too.
Yeah, look at that. Well,
yeah.
Consider who he's fighting, but still, yeah.
but still, it was pretty damn impressive. So James Ford is the last guy that Dante Johnson knocked out before he got on Contender Series. If you go back and you listen to our breakdown of that fight, I was like, I think Johnson's faster, but like Ford's kind of got some like sneaky wrestling that I wasn't sure what Johnson had for that, and he can slug too. So like, now we get to see Ford in like a rebound fight. I'm looking forward to how he swings it and seeing him get back in the win column. So once again, that's Bruce Whitehead, James Ford.
There you go. You are set now for Fury. If you want picks for other picks or anything like that, you can hit Gumby up. We're in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We are on YouTube, of course. You may be watching us right now. We MMA Gambling Podcast, of course, on YouTube. Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. At Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram for me as well. Check out my Substack, enter my pick'em contest for the UFC this week, and check out all my MMA articles at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby, as he mentioned, has another podcast called Top Turtle. He's interviewing someone we just spoke about this week.
Yeah, talking with Sean King, who we just talked about being in the co-main event, and then also Max Jimenez, who is making his UFC debut on Saturday.
So check it out, Top Turtle MMA, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, we are at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're back tomorrow, UFC. Still the Apex, baby. Be Baby Goose, Jeff Fox. The Postman, Gumby Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.